G'day folks, we got us one of these here Hyundai Santa Fe's in the shop. This one's 2010 I believe, ish. Makes all kinds of noise going straight, and I think it's left, but when you turn right everything goes quiet. So that means we got one wheel bearing that's probably bad, but we're going to change both because if one's gone the other one's not far behind and it's not much more work. So let's get after it. A little colder today, so we got the wood stove fired up here, get some heat going. Be nice to be a little bit warm. This is why it's taken so long to make this leap to electric. Don't like the cold. Battery's got 2 bars, but still don't like the cold. I have to charge that. Anybody else experience that with those electric impacts? They don't like the cold, so they just won't work. Air tools don't have that problem. Yeah, I'm just not convinced that electric's better than these. I get it, it's super handy if I'm working on something away from the compressor and I don't need to put out 6 air lines to get at it. But for in here, compressor's the way to go. So to get these wheel bearings, obviously we got to take the brakes off, we got to take the rotor off, we got to take this nut off. Brakes 14 mil, take the calipers off. Just like those two. There's 2 little 14 mils. Go. Fire that up. These calipers up and out of our way. Okay, caliper bracket 17 mil. They're just back there. Ooh. Might be a bit ornery. Boy, don't want to cooperate at all. Okay, caliper bracket comes off real easy back here. Okay, 2 17 mil bolts. These were a little stiff. Certainly no anti-seize was ever used on them. So, who needs Loctite up here in the rust belt? Just give it a week. You ain't getting it off. This has the 2 set screws on this rotor. And if we can get them out without stripping them, it'll be a good day. Alright, the preferred tool for that is one of these here impact screwdriver jobbies. Okay, all you do is put on your glasses so you can see what the heck you're doing. Like so. Step 1. Then you turn it. You give her a little wrap. That didn't even take much. 2 for 2. Okay, so these little set screws up here, most people don't even put them back in. The only reason I put them back in is to protect the threads, because you can thread a bolt in and pop these off when you do seize. The threads here actually are good. Maybe, we'll see if we need them. Oh, look at that, didn't even have to hit it. I was getting all excited to have to smash them. I hate when they knock the cotter pins in all the way. You can't grab nothing here on the end. You end up having to wiggle them out and hope for the best. You know you want to come out. There we go. Side cutters, best tool for these. There we go. We managed to get it out without breaking it. Axle nut. Oh, God, it was a little impact. Oh, look at that. It's not even frozen in there. You can tell this stuff was replaced in the last year or so. Normally those are rusted right in. So as you can see, there is no backing plate here. Completely rusted off. There's your backing plate. So on the inside here, there's 4 bolts. But your threads stick out here. And these, especially without a backing plate, are going to get just rusted like you wouldn't believe. So penetrating oil is a must. Okay, so your 4 bolts, they've been sitting here for about 10 minutes while I did other things. Yeah. And because I'm pulling through a 1/4 inch of exposed rusty threads, I don't know why they do that. Why not make the bolt the right length? It's going to get tighter before it gets looser. Okay, so like I said, I just tried to pull one out. It got about 1/4 inch and locked up solid because of the rust that's on these threads. So the wire wheel hopefully will help us out a bit. So you can see here how much of the thread sticks through, and they just get hammered. I mean, obviously there's enough rust back here that the backing plate rotted off. So you can imagine how fun they are to pull through. Yeah, them bottom two, there's no room for a socket, so we gotta wrench it out. And that's the box end only. And of course, you gotta work it back and forth where that rust is. Break off the rust, go a little more. Oh, starting to heat up in here. The wood stove's doing its thing. 3 of them come out real easy once I worked them back and forth to get rid of the rust on the end, but that 4th one fought me every turn of the way, all the way. It took me like 10 minutes just to get one bolt out. Okay, so she's all unbolted now. The axle stub is free. Now all we gotta do is use the protruders. So the only thing holding this on is 14 years worth of rust and rot. So we'll try the Persuadertron 1000 and we'll gradually work our way up. Now this hub and everything is being replaced, so I'm wailing on it. I don't care. Oh, I see movement. This one doesn't seem bad, and I didn't think this one was. It's the other side, but like I said, we're replacing both. If you're so inclined, you see there's 3 bolts right here, and that's what holds the backing plate on. But this thing hasn't had a backing plate in a while by the look of it. Okay, new hub assembly. The bolts are spaced differently, so you can't put it on any which way. You have to actually put it on and line them up. That's all there is. Let's put some bolts back in. We'll get to slamming our bolts back in. Just cleaned them up and a healthy coat of anti-seize. Yeah, not Loctite. You want to get somebody real mad at you? Put Loctite on those. So by manipulating the axle in and out, if you can get that fortunate, you can kind of get a wrench right in the sweet spot between the tone ring and the CV axle here. That's really much the only way you're going to get any kind of ratcheting device on there. Okay, new hub is in and tight. Feels just like the old one because I don't think this was the bad side, but let's get to putting the brakes back. Make sure you line up your set screws because you can do that 180 and one of them won't go. And do not slam those in because they're nightmares to get out sometimes. Pretty straightforward. Only goes on one way. Clean those bolts up. Put some anti-seize on and I'm tightening them with my hand. Finger tight, baby. Need an impact to put them in if you treat them nice. Not that tight. Winter in Ontario. These bolts will be rusted within a week and you won't need Loctite, that's for darn sure. Brake pads. Now these ones here, the previous mechanic put on ceramic pads and they were just squealing like you wouldn't believe. So I'm putting some silicone on them to try to quiet it down a bit. Brakes are on. Putting the axle nut back on. Got that thick washer first. The axle nut. You got to go till you line up a hole for a cotter pin. Sometimes you get it tight and it's not lined up, you got to back it up a bit. That's the way it is. Alright, big old cotter pin. We got to trim some of this one off so it's not as big as the last one that was in there. Now let's put the wheel on and call this side done. Fun stuff. What else would I be doing on a Saturday afternoon, right? Watching the NHL All-Star? Tell you what, you got to be a hardcore hockey card collecting, jersey wearing, face painting fan to want to go to that All-Star. You look at the players at that All-Star, like they could care less. They're walking around like, gosh, here I am again. Who's bringing the Timmies? We got to have some coffee. It's next level boring. Oh, boys and girls, we are 4 for 4 on these. That's not something that happens often up here. Definitely not my normal caliber of rust. Not even the Persuadertron needed. Okay, same thing. Backing plate has completely disappeared. We can thank the rust gods for that. Definitely some play there. Axle loosened right up. Same as the other side. Washer out of here. Or it drops in the dirt. Come on, greasy old washer. And what I'm hitting it with is the wood part of the hammer, not this part. Because I don't like to smash up my wrenches too much. I just loosen them and then I'm going to hit them with that wire wheel again, same as before. These are coming out better than I expected. I haven't even had to pull out the propane torch, let alone the oxyacetylene. We call that a win around here. Well, I wonder I feel so hot. That wood stove's got her up to 7 degrees in here. I have to strip down to a t-shirt soon. Oh, you should use such and such, or this puller, or that tool. Hammer's been around for thousands of years, it still works today. Oh yeah, that one's loose. Should not be able to turn it that easy. Have a listen. There was our noisy wheel bearing. That one's quite a bit tighter. And it's silent. Imagine that noise. Okay, same thing there. Cleaned up the bolts on the wire wheel. Put some anti-seize on them. Get past those musted up threads on the end. That'll go pretty quick. Had a good rhythm going there and got it ruined. Yeah, you know you got the right torque when you go red in the face. Just about pass out. Big washer. Big nut. Perfect. You know this one, folks. Nice. Caliper bracket. Again, it goes on one way. So we're going to do the old silicone here. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it does nothing. That's why I'm not a fan of ceramic pads outside of race cars. When you're doing 100 miles an hour and there's a brick wall in front of you, ceramic pads are great. But it's not really a necessity for street driving. I want to tell you they're different. Personally, I'm all about asbestos brakes for the win. Those wheels have a tendency to rust on there. Even the aluminum ones, this just gets rusty and it kind of sticks. Oh, I think we got her, folks. Anytime you take the brakes off, make sure you pump them before you go driving. Okay, folks, there's your wheel bearing and hub assemblies for a 2010 Hyundai Santa Fe. These ones are real easy because you don't need a press. They're not press ones. They literally bolt in and out, right? So it's a driveway job. You don't need a lift. you can do this in your driveway safely with some wheel stands and stuff. So if you're one of those folks driving around and you're wondering what this weird racket under your front end is, and it turns out to be your wheel bearings, maybe you can take on the job yourself with this knowledge that I've imparted upon you. If not, at least you know what you're up for here. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.